All right, are we on here? It looks like we are. Welcome to the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel, folks. This is going to be a kind of a quick one here. One of my videos on YouTube, by far and away, my largest viewed video by far is my Social Security planning for divorcees video. It just has gone crazy, and that's great in a way. It saddens me in a way, simply because that just shows you the lack of education when it comes to divorcees and the Social Security benefits they get, but B, also because all the divorces that are happening. All right, but that's reality. My folks got divorced. Your folks probably did too. I don't know. But I want to focus a couple things on, because the one thing that I see time and time again, just on the comments on this video, as on top of my over 20 years experience as a financial planner, I cannot tell you, if I've heard it once, I've heard it a million times. Typically, it's the spouse, the woman, not all the time, mind you, but generally speaking, at least in my planning experience, has been the woman who rues the day she signed the divorce decree because she realizes 15 to 20 years later that she didn't hold out for enough. Man, if I've heard that one time, I've heard it a million times. Don't let that be you. And look, I'm not making a judgment. I have no clue what's going on in a divorce. I have no idea. I literally, frankly, don't care to know. But if you're going through a divorce and you're a stay-at-home mom, all right, I'm just from experience, my friends, my gosh, stay to fight to get what is yours. You do not want to be the person when you're 58 and 62 years old who's got no income while your divorced spouse is sitting there living large and drinking martinis at the cabana. That you can't have that. You've got to stand up and fight for it. I know it's a hassle. I know you just want to move on with your life, especially if you have a wayward spouse. I get that. But you can't. This is the one time you've got to stand up and fight for what is yours. Let me tell you, I don't care if your husband or, and again, this is both ways. I'm just saying in my experience, is a radiologist, and he's an ass kicker. Don't care. And you've been watching, staying home, raising the kids, and you just said, and the guy just went crazy. Or the woman, I don't care. But man, you've got to stand up and take the arrows, because you're not going to get a second chance. And when you're 62 and you're destitute, making $600 a month on Social Security disability, it's on you. It's on you. You had the opportunity to stand up and fight to get what is yours. Now, just using this example as a radiologist husband, and if you're a radiologist husband, please don't take this personal. I'm not saying it's you. You could be, what's that lady's name from Facebook? Sheryl Sandberg, whoever that lean-in lady is. Don't care. You could be a rich Sheryl Sandberg and your husband's a stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home. Yeah, I don't care. But if you're the big breadwinner and you've been able to squirrel away lots and lots of money in your individual name, and then you go have a fair on whatever, while you're sitting in, I don't know, Mexico City or Thailand or something like that, that's on you, man. And on you, lady, that's on you. You've got to make up for it. That money that you were able to squirrel away while your spouse was sitting out at home, changing diapers, shoveling the crap that's in the house all the time, dealing with the pediatrician, dealing with all the stuff, like crazy school teachers, whatnot, you're going to have to part with some of your money. And now, if that is you, you're the spouse who got cheated on or abused, whatever, or just again, whatever the circumstances may well be, if that is you, you have a right to that property. Just because it's in his or her name doesn't mean it's only his or hers. Just he was able or she was able to squirrel it away. And I keep looking down here. Sorry about that. I need to just focus up here. I keep looking down to see if anyone's commenting. I probably ought not do that. I wish they'd give you a little ding if it was someone commenting. But anyway, so if you are the person who is staying at home, taking care of the household, taking care of the family, while your spouse is out there making the money, putting money in 401k with profit sharing, with deferred compensation, and on top of salary, and say some of that was ending up in his or her own individual name. And so in theory, that is not your money. Well, that's bullcrap. That's absolutely your money, because he or she made it while you're a joint unit. That's a fact. Just because it's in his or her name does not mean you do not have the right to go after it. And you doggone well should, my friends. If that money is sitting out there in an IRA, 401k, there's something called a quadro. qualified domestic relation orders. I can't remember what these terminologies are. You absolutely need to go after that. I mean, attorneys know this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that something an attorney won't know, but a lot of people say, I just didn't want to do the $500 divorce and move on. Don't do that. Financial advisors, there's something called a CDFA, a certified or chartered divorce financial analyst. I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what it is. I don't know what the specific terminology is, but basically CDFA, this is some pretty extensive training with some pretty extensive software. I used to work for one actually, and she had some pretty elaborate situations where she could basically hold out for, in this case, it was all women, but she could hold out for the divorcee spouse who felt they were getting the short end of the stick. Some pretty elaborate software. Now she charged you an hourly fee. It wasn't cheap, let me tell you, but man, it's worth it. And a lot of times you could get that positioned where the more higher breadwinner spouse who continues to make the money will pay for the fees of your CDFA, who will usually go through an attorney. I am not one. I mean, I know what you should be doing, but I certainly do not know enough to do testimony based on qualifications and Excel spreadsheets and all that. No desire to do that. But there are people who do. CDFA, you want to make sure they have the software for that kind of stuff that will list. I mean, I did this for this woman. You list it all. It's pretty elaborate for sure. And it's definitely worth your while if you're going through divorce to get a CDFA to crunch the numbers for you. An attorney, a lot of times they don't want to crunch the numbers, frankly. They'll do all the legal stuff, but they should be shipping that stuff off to a financial advisor and again, shouldn't just be a CPA. It should be a financial advisor, CDFA, again, chartered or certified divorce financial advisor. You need to find one because you need someone there representing you. Yes, maybe you don't have a whole lot of money because you don't make a lot of money as an income because you're relying on your spouse, radiologist, or the Facebook lady or whatever. Maybe that's you. I don't care. You can still use the cost of using the analyses that you're paying for to get that subject to the attorney or the judge who's going to bang the gavel to settle the divorce, to put it on the other guy or lady to pay for it. And you need to. You cannot be 62 years old, $550 of Social Security disability, and not a pot to pee in because you didn't hold out enough. I cannot stress this enough. And so please don't do that. Please don't do that. Hold firm. Find an attorney, not just a $500 attorney. Some good attorneys will do this, and they'll charge you a fee that a lot of times they'll use as part of the settlement decree. And you got to do that, man, because if you are sitting at home while your soon-to-be ex is doing all the breadwinning, and that soon-to-be ex has all the money in his or her account, and you don't have anything, and all you're relying on is Social Security, you're wrong. Now, don't forget, your Social Security is not contingent on your stupid decree, all right? The divorce decree, you do not throw that up in there as part of your divorce decree. Social Security, you have a right to that property regardless of, it's like a First Amendment right. You have a right regardless of what your divorce decree says. That is not part of a bargaining chip. Do not use as part of a bargaining chip because you have the right for that. The benefits you receive as a spouse, even if you're divorced, as we talked about a million times here Sunday on Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel and on my website at heritagewealthplanning.com, the benefits you receive as a divorcee and a survivor are not subject to divorce decrees. Do not get it in your head that if your soon-to-be ex-spouse says, well, I'll let you get half of my Social Security benefit, okay, I was going to get it anyway. I mean, literally, that guy could be evil since the evilest person since Lex Luthor. Doesn't matter. You have right to that regardless of what your divorce decree says. You have a right to the spousal benefit. You have a right to your survivor benefit as long as you're married for a certain amount of time, 10 years, okay? As long as you're married for 10 years. So hang in there and get a CDFA, get an attorney who's going to charge you maybe a contingency, or maybe that attorney can put the fees on the higher breadwinner. And for heaven's sake, do not assume that the divorce decree and Social Security benefits go hand in hand. Completely separate. It's completely separate. The divorce decree has nothing to do with your Social Security benefits. Nothing. It doesn't matter. Do not allow it to be seen like that is a benefit to you because your ex-spouse allowed you to get half of the benefits. You get half the benefits regardless. It doesn't matter. All right, my friends. Well, I've had a bunch of comments on my YouTube channel on this, and it bothers me. It really does. Everything about that bothers me, and I don't like seeing people poor. It ticks me off, especially if they could have done something differently to avoid what is happening to them now. It really bothers me significantly, dearly, and don't let it happen to you. For those people, unfortunately, who are already dealing with this, nothing you can do. Just remember, at the end of the day, you get half the primary insurance amount as a spousal benefit, even if you're divorced, as long as you've been married for 10 years. I cannot stress this enough. You get half of that amount as long as you're married for more than 10 years. But at death of your ex-husband or a wife, you get the full primary insurance amount. Again, that's contingent on when you took the benefit yourself. But just as the end of the day, you get the full PIA. And there could be a little bit more or less in there, but you'll certainly be more than a spousal benefit. So if you know you're married more than 10 years and your ex-husband or wife was making a whole lot more income than you, and thus it'd be making more Social Security, it behooves you, my friends, and they die, it behooves you to go down to Social Security and say, hey, that guy died. I'm entitled to more than what I'm getting. Do not rely on Social Security to do that for you. They don't have the time. They don't have the manpower. And frankly, I doubt they even have the knowledge in terms of being able to find you and say, hey, Miss Judy, this is Joni from the Social Security Administration. We just saw that your ex-husband died. I know you're only married to him 10 years back, 1965 to 1975, but we just felt we'd want to give you a bump. That's not going to happen. It's on you to make sure you know where your ex-spouse is and to make sure you can get your benefits based on your survivor benefits. All right, well, this is kind of a somber one, so by all means, thumbs up it. I hate to even ask for a thumbs up in a somber thing like this, but man, if this is helpful, just tell other people, please thumbs up it, put some comments down below. What's been your strategies in dealing with pending divorces? What have you done? How did you maximize your income? Or looking in hindsight might be a better question. Maybe in hindsight, you wish you would have done something differently. Put them in the comments, because I'm telling you, a lot of people that are in your situation, they need to hear the word. They need to hear the word before they sign that dotted line for the divorce decree. All right. And, one of these days, I'm going to interview an attorney on this stuff. I will. I'm going to do that to say, hey, what they need to be preparing for, because you need to know. All right. See you next time on the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.